If you could sign language something to your sister right now, what would it be?
We have the sign that we have like I, and then love, and then you.
I just want to go back to the women's Euros and that incredible save that you made with one-handed. Like,
I absolutely have no idea how I did it. The only thing was in my head that this ball can't get in. It is not a nice treatment because you're always like sitting in a room and you're radioactive.
and like, you were the deepest person we've interviewed today. We've interviewed some really, really good people.
Amazing.
And I'm sitting here, I was like,
So
wow,
good.
like we're worried about technology issues and our Wi-Fi is going out. And it's like, I crushed the world. This is what it means. Thank you for that. All right. Well, and welcome to the Soccerish podcast. Christina Unkel here, Lori Lindsey trying to patch in Wi-Fi issues all around for all of us. But thank you for your patience. For everyone listening, watching, I get the honor of introducing Ann-Katrin Berger, #1 goalkeeper for Germany. Go Germany. You've always been the favorite team I've always watched since I was a young girl. Gotham FC's anchor. If you don't know who she is, you are living under a rock because this girl, it makes incredible saves throughout. NWSL Goalkeeper of the Year in 2024, and she is a runner-up for the Women's Yashin Trophy. That's amazing in 2025. So let's, fingers crossed, we'll figure out. We'll always be cheering you on, hoping, try to slide in and get you some votes for that. But, Anne, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, kind of like I mentioned, the Soccerish podcast is just truly the ability to talk to people in and around the game. I know everywhere else, and you guys say football, right? You spell it differently than us as well. Instead of soccer, it's football, but it's not even football. It's, how do you say it in Germany?
Fußball. It's
Football.
similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ah. And where did you live in Germany? Because I had the honor last year of doing the Euros for ITV, and I was in Berlin for 30 days. Like, how close are you to Berlin? Because I realized how big the country was when I was there last year.
Oh, yeah, I'm on the opposite side of Berlin. It's Stuttgart, if you've ever heard of
Okay.
it. It's I think Stuttgart is quite famous for the cars. We do nice cars. Mercedes is from Stuttgart, or Porsche is from Stuttgart. So that's what we're
Okay.
known for, let's say.
Do you have a connection to any of those cars? 'Cause I'm always looking for a car partnership. I'm pretty
I,
sure Yael and Gotham wouldn't mind one either.
yeah, I wish I would. I'm trying really hard to always get one when I'm at home, but yeah, they're a little bit too big, I think.
All right, Anne. So I'm going to do one for you. Anne's agent, you've heard it here first. Get her that agency deal with that car dealership, Stuttgart, and everyone listen up. You got your girl here around the world who can sell you plenty of cars globally, especially in the United States. But yeah, so just wanted to kind of jump in a little bit, right? Recent things, past things, of everything. I mean, it's incredible here in the Soccerish podcast. We've had quite a number of goalkeepers already on interviews. Believe it or not, goalkeepers are near and dear. I think always everyone forgets about them until they don't forget about them. But we think that at the end of the day, you guys anchor everything. So yesterday, decision day, right? As we kind of briefly discussed offline, probably not the greatest day necessarily for you guys, but it's still a huge, impactful day. So I think what people, and then your next playoff game against Kansas City, probably a question many would want to know is how do you and personally prepare for these big time moments? You're in them all the time. You're steady all the time. How do you prepare going into those games and then while you're in the game?
Yeah, I think I'm just trying to prepare myself as best as possible for through the whole week, getting the tactics right, getting like my calmness and steadiness right, and giving me self a good feeling throughout the sessions, throughout the weeks, and then believe it or not, before a game, I love to listen to really slow music, because I think all around me there's so many noises, there's so many like upbeat songs, and as a goalkeeper, I think personally, I don't need it because I get there anyway when as soon as I step on the pitch, and if I would have an upbeat songs before the game, I think that would make it even worse, and that's why yeah, heartbreaking songs or just chilled songs, the way forward for me, for sure.
Oh God, I love that because you do. Everyone's wearing their headphones, and you're always wondering what music they're listening to. And some people are probably listening to, I don't know, Pink Pony Club, and you're sitting over there with like, is it country like heartbreaking songs, or like what would be your go-to
Um,
song?
I would say I actually think I have a really good mix between I love Adele. Um,
Yep.
yeah, she has really good calming songs. Yeah, sometimes like the slower ones from Justin Bieber, for example, I like. Um, yeah, country songs as well. Some of them. Since I'm here, especially, I think I got into it even more. So yeah, it's literally everything. Just just slow.
I love it. I now know when you go into that playoff game, you're going to be listening to Justin Bieber or Rolling in the Deep. And I feel
Yeah.
like nobody knows that, but now everybody knows that.
Yeah.
That's great. So, and then if I can even take you back, right, when we talk about big moments, is the Euros, right? You guys played that quarter final against France. Obviously, huge game, an incredible save to this day. And from the referee perspective, just a little bit of background: I was a FIFA referee for the United States for 7 years. So I've done and I've lived in the high technology, but just the way you paused and froze, it felt like. Have you ever watched the movie Matrix by any chance?
Yeah. When I was younger, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it felt like when I saw it live. And I was like, you don't need VAR or goal line technology for that one, right? Like it felt like something from the Matrix. But like, what does that feel like for you playing in the Euros? This podcast is usually listened to by an American audience, so they don't know the power of the Euros. Could you explain that a bit more?
Yeah, I think the years in general. I think the the competitions. The teams you can see over the years now that they like every country develops so good in women's football or soccer and yeah and playing in the Euros is just like it's like a really a tough tournament, I think. I played in the Olympics. I was part of it in the World Cup, and yeah, you have like different ones, but I think the Euros because it's so much with tactics, and also maybe it's not as quick as playing against America or something, but it's still like you have a lot of really good footballers who actually want to play football, and I don't know what it is sometimes, but like so many nations in Europe are really proud of their country and leaving like everything they have.
Hmm.
On their football pitch, and I think yeah is I would say nowadays it's not as easy to even qualify for the Euros. Before maybe you had like top five, six leagues and that's it, but now you actually could win or lose. Against anyone because it just depends on who turns up on the day, really. And yeah, playing for Germany in general for me is, yeah, I've never thought about it to actually play in big tournaments because obviously Germany never had a problem with goalkeepers. And I think in the future it will be the same. We have so many good goalkeepers coming up as well. And I think that's why you if you if you're born in Germany, you know it will be a tough job to actually get to the number one spot for sure.
Well, we are going to, at the moment, if Lori's camera continues to work or not work, but at least Christina and Ann, on behalf, we are introducing Lori to the podcast for the first time. As Ann is now my podcast host. I know Lori's still going with it, but one of the things you said, and I think that is there's a difference, and I truly believe between European football and the United States. One of the things you hit on was the speed of the game, and I've heard this before too, where it's like here in America we play a high pressure, high speed. You don't have as much time on the ball as in Europe, where you have maybe a little bit more time on the ball, and not in a negative way, just a way to let the game breathe. You know, how do you adapt for that when in Europe you probably have more time on the ball and here you don't? Like, how do you bring the beautiful football out?
I think you always can play beautiful football. I think it just depends on how tight you are on the ball. So you can still play nice football and like trying to pass it and switch it and everything, but you just have to be tidy when you're doing it, or like with more details with every single ball you play. It
Mm.
has to be perfect because, like we said, it's just their speed here is completely different. They're more physical. They're like, I don't know what the Americans have when they were younger or anything, but they're very, very quick and physical. And I had to learn it in the hard way. Sometimes when I was too slow, I got like put on my foot or just like body checked or anything like that. So over the time you just used to, and your brain is telling you, okay, if you don't make a quick decision, it will hurt. So and I think that's also really helpful. And yeah, but I really believe that every team can actually play football here as well. Like you can see, like Rose Lavelle, for example, she's an unbelievable football player, and I think that's and she can also play, but she's also really quick. So it's just the details on the passes, on the balls, on the shots, the movements, and everything.
And as I say, it's actually good because then I can bring in Lori. Hi, Lori. Hopefully.
Hi everyone. Oh my goodness, sorry. This is
No, it's
weird. I
fine.
don't know
It
what
just
happened.
Anne became my co podcast host. So we're going to introduce you into the show. And
Yeah,
we were just
perfect.
talking. We're talking about like the difference in European football versus American football, right? And like you, Lorival, and just asked a great question. What did you guys eat, or how were you guys trained that you played football at such a fast level?
That was what asked about us.
Yeah, that's the question.
That's funny. That's funny. Oh goodness. I don't think it's actually what about what we eat, but it has been about like there's been a lot of resources. Obviously for equal pay and everything that we have fought for. Um, there's so much more improvement. But early on, because sport is highly regarded in the US, resources for young kids, all of that, our ability to be able to play at a young age, play with boys' teams when we were younger, a lot of us did play with our brothers and stuff. It was just that ability to be able to have access to sport, I think, quite early in everyone's career that propelled specifically our U.S. women's national team to an early level of success. So I don't know if it's anything that we were eating, except I'm from the Midwest, Indiana, and we were eating a lot of like boxed potatoes and stuff. So I'm not so sure how much that helped me, but yeah. Anyway, good to see you. Thank you for being on. I wanted to follow up though about what the conversation that you and Christina were just having in terms of the different styles of play. Do you feel like you've had to change the way that you play, given playing here in the NWSL versus elsewhere, or when you were at Chelsea, or even in the Euros? Do you feel like you have to adjust your style a bit to accommodate the level
Yeah, 100%,
or the
a
style?
100%. Because in every single team, it doesn't matter internationally or like at Gotham or before at Chelsea, in Paris, in Germany. Every I That's why I love playing football in different countries as well, because every single country has their specific way to play, and that's how I improved and tried to be a little bit more different and maybe sometimes risky, sometimes not. Like it depends on the people actually know me and like how I developed that over the years. It's not just coming from 1 or 2 years. It's literally my whole career. In Germany, I started to catch balls because back then my goalkeeper coach and my normal coach always said like, well, here in Germany, especially in our league, you have to catch the balls. So I like the main focus was obviously being um, more mindful to catch the balls instead of punching the balls. And I think over the
Yeah.
years, I think now a lot of goalkeepers are punching the or like putting it to the side, but not really catching it anymore. And in France, I had to learn that I had like one shot over 90 minutes on target if it was a normal game, and there was only 1 or 2 games where maybe I had more to do, but besides that, there was literally nothing. So I had to start playing, okay, how can I prevent playing with the team to maybe don't even have to catch a ball during 90 minutes. So that's where then my playing style just developed. And then in England was a little bit of both, where I still had to be goalkeeping and keeping the ball out of my net. But also at Chelsea, they wanted me to play a little bit more under pressure. But then also the mindset, I didn't have a lot of shots on target during a game. I could be like 90 or let's say 70 minutes without any contact with the ball. But then in that moment, I had to be there for only one shot. And that was also very, very helpful for my mind. And here, like I said, I have to play more out because that's what my coach and Gotham needs. So I have to be a little bit more riskier and staying a little bit higher in front of me. And with Germany, it's the same. Like you obviously against good players, you have to be tidy on the ball. Everything is just coming together, and you just have to listen what the coach wants from you. And for sure, here at Gotham, I think they want me to be a little bit more riskier. And then obviously, it's harder to sometimes adapt because my coach then in Germany was not as happy that was sometimes too risky. But even it was like, for me, it was always under control. But like people who don't know me or don't see me every single Sunday, for them obviously looks a little bit more risky and getting more heart attacks than our normal fans.
Ooh, so I think that's an interesting point because, like you say, like it's the modern keeper, right? The modern goalkeeper, definitely in the American game, but we're seeing that where, footwork is such a critical piece. Those decision-making skills, back pass, you become part of the back, whether you're a five back. That's another conversation about five backs in the NWSL that we went viral with last week. That we didn't realize with Laura Harvey, or when you're playing as part of the defense, like you now have your coaching license, which is incredible. So thank you for that. I don't know if that's foreshadowing you want to coach at the end of your playing careers, but thank you for, getting that because we need more women goalkeeper coaches for sure. I don't think there's a single women goalkeeper coach in the NWSL right now. I know we have one here at the Tampa Bay Sun, Tristan Stuteville. So please, 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 after your playing days, which are hopefully for a while still, you come in and coach. But how would you now with the modern goalkeeper, like what type of drills or things that do you have to focus on, work on that you would recommend to, another young goalkeeper coming up the system to start learning how to do now?
I would try to let them play as long as possible outside of the goal because catching the ball, obviously, you can learn that over like 2-3 years. That's not a problem at all. But like the younger kids, I truly believe they should play for, well, maybe not as late as me because I played as a striker till I was 16. Um, but yeah, like even my nieces, I try to tell them like play so many different positions for as long as you can, and then at some point you can just like choose whatever position you liked. And then and I think that that's the main reason why I think you can see who was a goalkeeper when they were younger and who were a little bit longer outside or on the pitch, and then when as a goalkeeper, because from that you know how to handle the ball under pressure. You have the vision for it because then as a goalkeeper it's then easier when you were in midfield and then you're in goal. You don't even have to look behind you because there's nothing there. And I think that will help a lot. And then also I'm like I said at the beginning, I'm a believer. I hate when I have to punch the ball. like that for me is then not a good save. Even though maybe you can't even catch the ball, but yeah, I absolutely hate it because that means also like I have to get up again because there could be a rebound. So saving me energy and saving anyone else's thinking oh they would have a chance or anything for me is then well it's done now. We don't have to think about a second scenario or anything like that. So I think these two things are really, really important for me. And I would really advise to give it to every single goalkeeper. It doesn't matter, female or male, just to catch the ball. And if you have that technique, then the other techniques are coming by itself.
No, definitely.
Have we talked about the playoffs yet? Sorry.
We briefly
Okay.
talked about the playoffs, but you could definitely jump into it. And I guess I just kind of that transition standpoint of it, like those staple items, right? We talk about the basics. I think sometimes that gets lost, but to your point, if you're going to be catching the ball, you don't have to worry about the secondary action to it. So why worry about the symptoms when you can just get straight to the source and fix the root of the problem?
Yeah, and I think, and that's the same with like the positioning of a goalkeeper as well. You can prevent so many counter attacks just being high. Don't like. I'm not saying don't be silly and overdo it. And sometimes, yes, you get it wrong. Everyone gets it wrong. You learn from mistakes. But I think I don't even know how many counterattacks I just stopped because people are seeing me that high that they think the ball has to be perfect, that the goalkeeper can't get there, and the defenders can't get there either.
Yeah. And before I know Lori wants to jump into the to the NWSL playoffs, and I don't blame her for it because that's like the next kind of big thing on your plate. But I just want to go back to the women's Euros and that incredible save that you made with one handed. Like, were you? Can you walk us through that moment? Like, were you prepared for it? Was it something that was naturally instinctive for it? Like, I know you've relived it multiple times. I know everyone asked you for it, but I think it's still very cool to hear you talk it through.
I absolutely have no idea how to do it. I've never practiced it. I would love to say yes, that was on purpose and that was like the perfect scenario. But I have absolutely no idea. The only thing was in my head that this ball can't get in because we were working so hard over I don't even know how many minutes with only 10 players. And that for me, like from all the shots and from all the chances they had, we can't concede a goal, like an own goal. And then, yeah, like because I was maybe for a lot of people out of my goal because and it looked like yeah, but she was not in the right position. But like this ball should have come over to the other player. So and then I would have been in the right position. Yeah, and then I just saw the ball like flying and flying and at some point when I jumped and the ball just didn't come down, I had no idea how long I can jump in the air. It felt like this maybe it was like 1 second or 2 seconds, that whole thing. It felt like a good 20 seconds. Yeah, and the ball went longer and longer, and I didn't know how long my arm is because obviously, if it goes behind you, you don't know. Like you have to have the perfect timing. And like I said at the beginning, I didn't know that I was capable of doing that. And then when I stayed there, I didn't even know if it was in front of the line or in the behind the line because with all your peripheral vision you can see the post or anything like that but like the line underneath you don't see, so you're just going off a feeling and really hoping that the referee is not blowing the whistle say like the ball was in.
No, definitely. I think to your point where you
Yeah.
say you kind of don't know how it happened, I'm pretty sure we can add that to the type of person you are. Resilient. You'll make something happen, and I think that's like willpower for sure. Go ahead, Lori.
Yeah, it was just I was actually that's a perfect way to segue because I love your story, I love your life, and I just wanted to touch on a few more personal things because I'm sure you get a lot of questions from about soccer on the field stuff, but off the field I think is such a unique experiences for you. Your sister in particular is hard of hearing. Is that and you've had to learn sign language? Is that true?
Yeah. Well, my parents didn't actually want me to learn sign language because my parents were always the
Yeah.
people that they wanted to give my sister as much as possible, like a normal life. Yes, they send her to like a deaf school, but so she can be around her kind of people and like how like the emotions and everything else is completely different with these kind of peoples with disability. But I then when she came home, my parents always wanted to speak with her because just to prepare her for the outside world, really. But when I was a kid, I felt like we had like a secret language, and that's why I absolutely loved learning with her the sign language, and yeah, and also it just got us a little bit closer, I think, and now I would say like I would do it again because it probably feels nice for having someone even at home to be as comfortable around someone. So yes, I get what my parents wanted to do and they did it and it was perfect, but I think I'm hoping that she also liked it because I can only imagine how it would feel not having someone at home to accept her how she is, and helping her still. I still told her like, oh, you have to call because you can still call people, but like just having some at dinner table having some secret conversations. And, and
I love.
my older sister absolutely hated it because she didn't want to learn it, and that was her problem. But yeah, it, it was quite nice.
Yeah, I love hearing that. It's like you have you understand where your parents are coming from as well, but then also um I think about this in life a lot. Instead of all of us forcing others to have to adapt to the way that we are living, we can reach out and absolutely learn and make steps towards to connection with others. In this case, your sister. So I always feel like, yeah, I love that.
Yeah, 100%. We have so many things that we think that should be normal, but who am I telling someone that this should be the norm? Because there's so many things that it goes both ways, and yeah, I think to have the right balance and being a little bit open-minded how they feel, because yes, they want to be treated normal, but also sometimes you just need some loving and caring, and that's also a different way to show it.
If you could sign language something to your sister right now, what would it be? Like, could you demonstrate it?
Um, my sister and me, we have a ongoing thing. Even in the Euros, I did it, where it's actually an English thing. So obviously, sign language in Germany and in China and in America, everywhere is completely different. But we have the sign that we have like I and then love and then you. So after the game, because she was doing the Euro, I think she watched like 2 or 3 games, and she drove every day or every time when we had a game, like 3 to 4 hours just to watch me play, and that never happened before. And she even took her time off of work just to watch me play, and I absolutely loved it. And yeah, never. Yeah, when I was a little kid, she taught me that, and that was our little thing. That with every game, with every like the first ever national team game for me, Germany. when the camera came across, I did the same sign. So she knew that it was for her because she obviously can't hear anything I say sometimes if she turns her hearing aids off. And that's why then she knew it was for her.
Oh God, I love that. I love that. So it's like
So
it says
yeah,
I love you.
it's the I, and that's the L, that's for love, and then it's
Yeah.
you or me or anything. So yeah.
Oh, I love it. See, look, now wait. So Anne, you speak German, English, and I love you in Germany for sign language. Any other
Kind of, yeah.
languages you
Yeah,
speak
so
that we need
good.
to know about?
I'm actually learning some Spanish over now, I don't know, on Duolingo for like 300 or something days. So because I absolutely love the
Wow.
language. So yeah.
Look at that.
Nice.
Okay. Nice. And then you can also talk to your
And
coach
speaking to
too.
Juan Carlos,
Yeah.
Pardon?
speaking to Juan Carlos as well. I said speaking to Juan Carlos as well.
No, when you speak to Spanish people, they're so quick. So I
Yeah,
I
yeah, fair.
yeah, I get really confused when they speak with each other. I'm like, "Oh, I really would like to understand, but you're way too quick for me."
Yep,
And if it
fair
makes
enough.
you feel better, Spanish people speak differently than Mexican people who speak differently than Puerto Ricans who speak differently than Argentinians. So it's okay from a Hispanic woman. Sometimes we don't even understand our own Spanish language.
That makes me feel
You're-
better for sure.
yes, I want to make you feel more comfortable about that. But speaking of that, I mean, like on some of these things, and I feel like you're very comfortable with it, which is ironic because, right, obviously, having beaten thyroid cancer 2 times, and then you put the tattoos over the marks, you're still very strong and confident when you talk about your recovery and your journey. Why is that? Are you speaking to a bigger audience, kind of like similar to your sister? Like you want others to feel comfortable that it is something that you can go through?
Um, Yeah, I always like to help people. I think that's also a reason maybe why I became a goalkeeper because I liked to help people in front of me. So, um, but yeah, it was for me like I had so many conversations with doctors and they like all said like oh some were ashamed of that they had cancer or like kind of illness or then they were just like kept everything from for themselves, and most of the time, everyone knows keeping things for to themselves is not healthy. So you already maybe your body is telling you already you're not healthy. Then keeping it for yourself is also then not healthy. That's like a double weight on you, and yeah, and for me it was always like I maybe have the platform to help people, and that's why should I be ashamed of I can't do anything about it, so why should I be ashamed of it? And yeah, and I just want to like let people know, yes, maybe they see me as like a really like a superstar or like a role model or anything like that, and but at the end of the day, even us as football players, we can get hit with these kind of things as well. And that's why like it was a little bit of yeah, helping people, but then also telling people, you know what, whatever you say, even if it's a nice thing to say or not a nice thing, what comes back as well that we are just human beings. So let us treat we treating you as a human being, so the other way around will be perfect as well. And if I can only help one or two people out of I don't know how many, then that also makes me very very happy. And like I said, there is apparently a lot of people that they are very unhappy and can't push through all these things because they are hard. I'm not saying it's easy to go through these kind of things, but if you let people help you and if you listen to other people's experience, maybe it will help you. And open up, and then there's only one weight, and that's then the illness. And that was for me always the case, that I want to put that message out there to say that you don't have to be afraid, and you also don't have to go through it by yourself.
No, and I think in the tattoos, right? You said that you have. I remember reading something about like the tree, and then you have a compass on them, and the symbolisms for it. Like I just, by the way, I love symbolism. So, like, what do those signify for you?
Well, the compass was like one of my first one for like the illness bit, because my compass has 3 dates on it. It was the day where I got diagnosis.
Mm,
The second one was when I had my operation, and the third one was when I had my treatment. And I put it in order. So in the south is what do you call it? The cancer, the bowel,
Oh,
is
the
it bowel?
infinity.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's it.
The infinity symbol. That one,
I
right?
have that. I have that in the south, because that's what obviously the south is the brightest moment in on a day,
Mm,
and the north was the worst day where I got diagnosed with it. And yeah, and it's just like it doesn't matter where you are, and because I had it in England, I was not even near my family or anywhere. That's why I had to put it into a compass thing, and it doesn't matter where you are, you can do, when you give your best in everything you can do, then it will always be enough. That's my big
yeah.
belief. And then the tree was when I had my second treatment. I um, it is not a nice treatment, because you're always like sitting in a room and you're radioactive, and you can't have people around you really. And I had like a woman next to me, and because of the tablet we had to take, she was
Mm.
like ill the whole time. Like you could hear her like throwing up or having pain or anything like that. And I was thinking the whole time, like, yeah, my body felt different, and I was maybe a little bit like sore or stiff or anything. I was in pain sometimes, but I was not as in pain as the woman next to me, in the room next to me. And then because my first experience, I was in like literally like a basement with no windows or anything, because the signals, they are not allowed to go out and everything. So I was like 3 days in just normal light, but not sunlight. And it was just like, it was not nice. But the second one, I saw just like a tree in front of my window, and yeah, and that's where I always believe that when your roots are stronger than the outside, then nothing happens.
And like you were the deepest person we've interviewed today. We've interviewed some really, really good people. And I'm
Amazing.
sitting here, I was like,
So
wow,
good.
like we're worried about technology issues and our Wi-Fi is going out. And it's like I crushed the world. This is what it means. This is the significance of life. So thank you for that on Monday. Gosh, I feel like I could talk to you,
On a
especially,
Monday.
yeah, on a Monday, right? It's like that's setting up our, I wouldn't even say
Goodness.
week life, but like I mean, God, I don't drink beer. I'm assuming that you do, coming from Germany, but I would easily share an entire pint with you for more conversation.
Yeah, I don't drink beer either. I know that
Oh, nice.
yeah, a lot of people have that reaction, but yeah, I don't like it. I think I
No.
drank too much when I was younger, maybe. Let's put it that way, and now I don't like it.
Hey, that's a real thing. That's a really, really real thing. And obviously, you're not going to be drinking any beer as you lead into it. I know Lori had a bunch of questions for the NWSL playoffs, and thank you for your time. So we'll definitely hit into those. Lori, what questions do you have? She's the voice of all soccer in the United States, by the way. And so,
Yeah. I don't know about that, but yeah, I was just curious. Obviously, you didn't get the result last night, but now traveling to Kansas City, which I think makes for such a fun matchup, kind of contrasting styles and a little bit of, and to say the least, I would say. So, what are you looking forward to? Whole new season now, essentially, and yeah, just your thoughts on the season for your team so far.
Um, well, I'm excited. It doesn't matter where we're going. I'm always excited for like a good knockout football. Because it doesn't matter what happened in the league. I think it was the same in the Euros, that France was so good at the beginning, but then when it goes to the knockout stage, there's literally, yeah, it's a different level. And I think, and with that mindset, I think we will go into that game. And yes, maybe we picked the hardest route, but yeah, you have to beat them anyway at some point. So if you want to go to a final. And yeah, so yeah, in the season, I think it was a little bit disappointing, I would say, personally, because we have such a good group, and we should be way better than that, and our standards should be way better than that. And yes, we have some up and downs, but like with the squad we have and the personalities, I think we can be disappointed, and we will be disappointed, but after the playoff, because right now we just have to get our shit together. And
You could absolutely cuss on this. We appreciate it, actually.
Yeah,
uh,
we really do. And it's a term of art in football.
yeah, but this is basically you have to get it together, because the knockout stages is the toughest competition, I think, and that's why we have to focus now. Okay, the league is done, and now we go game by game, and try to turn up for these games.
Well, I'm like I said, I would share an entire not pin. I'm a wine person. So, yeah, and if you're a wine person, I got you next time postseason, right? But no, thank you for your time and being with us here today and just sharing who you are as a human, right? Like we see the Ann, the footballer Ann, you obviously crush it, bronze medal in the Olympics, 2024 NWSL goalkeeper of the year, all of those accolades, but kind of, I think you hit on the point where the whole point is like who you are as a human, what you've gone through. And thank you for using your platform to inspire others to know that, you can as well make it through cancer, even though it's not easy to do so. And, reaching out and bridging those moments and those opportunities, not just with your sister, but I think that also tells a bigger story because we definitely are going to do anything and everything we can to share your story. So thanks, Anne, for your time today.
Sounds good, and thank you for teaching me something new, that apparently Florida is not a good place to be for Wi-Fi. At least I learned something today as well.
Fair enough. Yes, exactly. And this, boom. Good luck in the
Yes, we love
playoffs.
you. I don't know what we is, but I love you and Lori loves you. And incredible human being. Holy smokes. Like, sometimes you sit there and you're just like, oh, we aren't worthy. Awesome individual. Dear Lord. Like you read these things, but until you like get to talk to the people and get to learn about them, incredible stuff.
Yeah, just amazing. That was
Incredible
fun.
stuff.
And I've heard her
That was fun.
and talked with her about her tattoos and stuff before, and seen them in person. But just incredible to hear it again, and always the different layers um,
Yeah.
about them. Yeah, it's just remarkable.
Oh, I got chills. But thinking of something that was remarkable that we just completely, I was texting Kevin, I'm like, we are doing a Soccerish podcast on technology in football. Because who knew that last week's Soccerish podcast would go viral, referenced everywhere, US, England, New Zealand, Australia, syndicated through Reuters, CBS, ESPN, The Athletic, Sky Sports, blah, 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 New York Times. Lori, we're famous. We made it.
Yeah, we certainly did. Honestly, I was so shocked by that as well, and I thought it was. And my response was always, when anybody asked me about it, it was, "Did you listen to the whole podcast?" Because
Yes, thank
all
you.
think what's interesting is there's so many organizations, clubs that are using AI
Yeah.
in many different realms that haven't even been talked about yet. And then whether you're a fan of AI or not, that's a whole nother conversation, right? But that is the facts that are
Yep.
happening right now. And then also just like, to me, the wonderful thing about it is the majority of that podcast was about authenticity and transparency and how Laura's grown as a coach, who she confides in, right? And just was open that like, hey, I referenced this to ChatGPT. It doesn't give you the answers and the personnel that you have on your team to then be able to lay out the tactics, but it gives you an idea to start thinking about something different. And I love that was like kind of the catalyst for her to be like, okay, I've never played a 3-back before or 5-back, but this is something I'm interested in. And then that was the catalyst that allowed her to go and dive into the tactics of it and how she kind of wanted to uniquely play it. So I just love that. One, fine if it's going to go viral. Two, I just love when people are just taking headlines and there's actually so much more to it, and also, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, to me,
You
it's
want to
like,
know who cares?
yeah,
The Man Uniteds and the Real Madrids and the huge football clubs care. Why? Because they're using AI, to your point. Like, they're using any and all tools and skill sets. Like, everything has AI integration into it. So I'm with you. Who cares? The people that are actually looking and spending billions of dollars care. So, like, this isn't novel. And
exactly.
I don't know. I'm with you. I hit in the head. And the transparency, to your point, the authenticity, that was my first response to people, even on social, was like, you didn't listen to the podcast. Tell me you didn't listen to the podcast without Les telling me you didn't listen to that podcast. But if anything, I was just like sitting there and I was like, dear Lord, I was kind of a little disappointed on some of the talking heads, even in the soccer network here in the United States, who took this thing and they just ran with it. But I have to give out the flowers to the people who were like, I read the article and I even listened to the podcast and it makes plenty of sense. You just don't throw out, like, if you don't know how to coach, even if you don't know how to coach, you know that you just don't put 5 defenders back there and call it a day. Like, it's not that easy to do that. But yeah, shout out to Laura because, right, she's always going to be real. She's going to be honest. She's going to be transparent and visible. And at the end of the day, who's laughing now, right? Like, who's laughing now? Especially if she takes it. She takes it. ChatGPT, you owe us money. But yeah, we'll do a future podcast on technology and football because clearly not many people realize it's happening. So let's bring that to the forelight. But yeah, another cool episode with Ann. Love that she had her. Lori, thanks for your time. I know you're jumping off too, and we're on to the rest of our lives. Meaningful, deep Monday. Let's do this. Where are you gonna be at this weekend?
I have Washington versus Racing Louisville NWSL quarterfinals in DC. So yeah,
Nice.
very excited about
Oh
it.
yeah, shout out to a past podcast interview, Bev Yanis, for making history with Louisville. Let's go.
Very cool. Yep. So happy
Oh,
for him.
awesome. All right. All right, I'll catch us on the next podcast. And you can catch us on YouTube, Spotify, podcast, all the good stuff. Kev, you know how to do those things when I miss everything. All right, team. Talk to you guys later. Cheers. Thank you for watching the Soccerish podcast. You can follow us on YouTube, subscribe, and as well, follow us on social media.